Hi guys! Welcome to Miss Musungu's channel. This is the best place to be.
Yes, especially on a Sunday afternoon, you guys. We are seated here with our throws, just catching up, and today we are talking about
Mental health.
yes, mental health and grief. I think there's one thing that unites us. We've both lost our mothers. Mine was way kitambo when I was, how old was I? I think 13 or 12 or younger. And McKenna's was so recent. Yeah, and this afternoon we are just talking about it. It's not something, I realize that it's not something that I talk about most of the time, but maybe it's been one of the ways that I have kind of like blocked off what happened. And I was just wondering, if it happened right now, what would I do? How would I be able to like get through it, my emotions, my feelings? And that's why we are here. We're just going to have a chat. So if you've lost someone, significant person to you, beloved, a loved one to you, you might find this chit chat helpful, or maybe just a way to start.
Okay, I think for me, I'd just like to say that I really never got it. Like, I never really understood what grief was and losing a loved one was until it happened to me.
Was this your first one?
No, it was the second one.
Okay.
So the first one was like 2021. So I lost my aunt. So that was the first time I'd say I lost someone who was close to me. And I was like, now I get how people feel. I get, why people cry. I get why people, go through a hard time. I finally got like now what grieving truly means. Before, when I used to go for funerals and I see people crying, I really never used to understand. I can't say I tried to understand, but I never really knew how it feels to be there until it happened to me. So that's what I'd say, that I might not even have been at the best place to be there for someone who's experiencing grief, because I'd never really been need to fully know and understand how it feels to be in such a place.
I remember that when I was young, my mom gave birth and lost the child, and at that time I could not even be able to conceptualize what was happening, because I was picked from school. I was in boarding school. I was picked from school. We came, buried, and then I went back to school. So I didn't really get to understand what grief is, and it didn't. Can I say it didn't affect me? It's not something that I can even trace back in my life and say, at this period of time when I lost my brother, this is what happened. But I remember I had a brother, and he died upon during delivery. He passed on. But I remember at that time I really felt for my mom. I knew she was in pain. I saw how she was. I just wished that I could be able to spend much more time with her, because boarding schools, you done with that and then you go back to school, which is very cruel. Yeah. The same happened now when I lost my mom. I lost my mom when I was about age 12, 13, thereabouts. And the way, before, let me just say what happened before. Before that time, it was just few months after I had my surgery for the leg. So she was with me in the hospital, post-operation recovery. So we had really bonded. And then it happened that was the last time that we spent time together. Yeah, because she took care of me in the hospital, and then now I was discharged. I went home. I was nursed at home, and then it came time for me to go back to school. And now going back,
not to boarding school.
going to boarding school. Now after the term ended and then going back home, she was normal. So
it happened when you're in school?
Yes, it happened when I was in school.
Oh, but you had to wait till your term ends?
No. I remember I was picked from school to go and do the whole funeral process things, and then after that going back to school. Yeah. So I was just wondering how, because at that time for me, I was a child. I don't know how I was able to get through it, but how now that you're an adult and you're able to understand your feelings and all, how are you able to navigate that grief period?
I'd say I'm still in the process of navigating the grief and all. I can't say I'm past it or I'm over it. I'm still in the process of going through the stages of grief.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd say. I'm in the process of navigating and learning to see how can I, cope. Because it's not like you can forget.
Yeah.
You can't really forget.
Yeah.
And if you forget, people are there to remind you that,
You don't have a mother?
Yeah.
Really?
People always talk about, their families, their mothers. People do really love their mothers.
Yeah.
So people will talk about their mother, they'll talk about their parents. So one or the other, you will be reminded.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. So if you forget, people will be there to remind you. So I guess for me, I'm still in the process of navigating and seeing how do I live with this. Yeah.
Wow. So talking about how to live with it, how do you recount her memories? What are some of the ways that you make sure she's still part of your life? If that makes sense.
I don't think I make any effort, to be truly honest. I guess there are people who do put effort into keeping someone's memory alive and all that. I don't think I'm there yet. It almost feels like I'm still trying to internalize what has just happened. Although it's not been a year, but it will be a year very soon, but doesn't feel like it feels like it happened yesterday. So I've not even gotten to the part where I'm trying to figure out how do I keep her memory alive. I'm trying to break down or trying to work through the feelings that and emotions that keep arising. So that's what I'd say I'm still in the process of doing. So I haven't gotten to that part
where you have rituals, plans.
No, I don't have anything of that sort at all at the moment.
Same here. I have nothing.
At all?
No, nothing. To keep her memory alive. Her memory is just inside here. The things she used to do. I think that's what I do. I can't even remember. Oh, because let me tell you what happened. For me, my mom passed on giving birth to my younger sister, whom you've probably seen on the vlog. That's her, by the way. So I'm usually reminded of her during Mother's Day and when my sister's birthday comes along. So I remember her. And once in a while, her memory will just creep up. And there are times you're filled with so much sadness, you miss her, you miss someone, you miss her, and it's so painful. The pain or the emptiness, something that you can even be able to feel, especially when there's something or happening in your life that you'll be like, how I wish she was here. What would she have done if she was here? I would wish to see her, see me in,
Yeah, definitely. I guess for me, it's I'm doing something and then I remember, she's the one who showed me how to do this. Or I'm going about my business, I'm like, I remember she showed me how, like, this is something she used to enjoy doing, or how I picked up certain habits was from her, how she showed me how to do certain things. So when I'm doing those things, I remember like, I remember she used to do this, she used to like this, we used to do this together or the other. The memories are still constantly there. I do still once in a while have a dream where she's in the dream, and also my aunt. So that still happens.
Oh really?
Yeah, it does.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
When you're talking about memories, I'm just imagining like if I was to visit where we used to live, I don't think I can go back right now there, because I feel like the memories would be so fresh.
I understand. I hear you. Yeah, I feel like I also get similar vibes with being in the room now. My mom's room. I also feel the same type of way. I don't want to be around that room for too long. Yeah, there are like definitely those memories that come to mind.
Yeah. Do you have some things maybe you've kept of her that you look at or something like that?
Yeah, I mostly have photos. I still have some of her photos on my phone, so I look at them. Also some of her like jewelry and like some of mostly I think that was the biggest one that I still have a lot of. For clothes, I would have kept a lot of them if we were the same size, but we are not. Yeah, but I have the things that I could be able, like pieces of her clothes that I could find a way of weaving into my wardrobe. I do have some pieces here and there. Yes. So yeah, those are the things.
How can you be able to explain the loss of your mother and your mental wellness?
Oh, I'd say it did take like a toll on my like mental health. For me, because I remember before I got the news, I was thinking of calling her. And I had been thinking like for some time of calling her. I was like at that time I was preparing for my exam. So I was like, I'll call her like later after I finish this exam. I'll call her later. So I told myself I'll call her later. That is now after at least I finished my exams, or because I had tried calling her and her phone had an issue. So I was like by the time I prepare for my exam and do my exams, and also she sorts the issue of her phone, I can be reading for my exam and all that. So when the announcement came, I was like, oh my god, I should just have called her. That's why I felt like I needed to call her. And I was like, I should just have called her. I should just have called her. Yeah. So that kept it kept, sometimes it's still once in a while bothers me, like
what if?
Yeah, I should have called her. So it did bother me a lot at the beginning. Right now not so much, but I'd say at that moment I thought of all the other things I told myself I'd do later. Like how many more things have I said, I'll do that later. It made me realize how short life is, because it's not like that she was old or anything. And then even for you, it's not that now you are older, she's seen your it's ripe old age or anything like that. And it was quite sudden. It was not like an illness and you're expecting things can go north or south. It was very sudden. So I did think of it made me pause and think about life. Life is, you don't know when your time is coming. That's what I used to feel like. Well, if she died at that age, I don't know when my time is coming. And all those things that I keep telling myself, you know what, I'm going to do them later. I may never get a later. Later might never come to pass. So I was like, and it's not like even in her case she was prepared to go. There's some instances where someone knows that things can go either way and they start making preparations. It was nothing like that. It was very sudden. So I paused and I was like, okay, if this is how things can go down. Like, I did think about all the things I wanted to do, but I told myself I'll do them later. And it did get to like a point where, still part of the stages of grief, where you're depressed, you're very depressed, you don't feel like there's a reason for living anymore or going on. What's the point? It did get to a point where I was not like I didn't care. Like, I didn't care about anything or anyone. Yeah, so like it was so hard for me to even like wake up, because I used to like sleep. I used to really sleep a lot. And when it comes time to wake up, I don't want to wake up, so I just go back to sleep. I don't want to wake up. So I just sleep and sleep and sleep and sleep as much as I possibly can. And that's the only thing I wanted to do. I just wanted to sleep and not wake up. So I guess at that point where nothing felt worth living, nothing felt, worth waking up to do, that's when I had to really sit down and ask myself, why am I still here on earth? Like, why have I woken up? Why didn't I also, like, because my mom died in her sleep, so like, why didn't I also die in my sleep too? And it did kind of, in a way, push me into what I felt the purpose of my life was. Yeah, there's an analogy I like to think of, like, you're on a highway and your destination is not at the end of the highway, but at some point along the highway. So there's
a destination somewhere at the end of it.
No, like, let's say it's Thika Road, and you're not going to the end of Thika Road. Your destination is maybe like Juja. So at some point you have to, like,
right,
like use that, like, I don't know the name of that road, like those
bypass,
the roads that are like along the highway that allow you to go into the towns along the highway. Okay, those, I'm going to call them side roads. That's not the right term, but let's say that you need to like get off the highway to go to that destination. So let's say like the destination is probably or the path that leads to that town is like maybe your purpose. So you're on the highway, you're like, I'll do that later. As in, I'll change lanes later. So you're not on the correct lane, but you know that in order for you to get off that highway, you have to change lanes. But you're like, I'll unikikaribia, like, or when the time is right, I'll change like lanes. So I'd say for me that was what was happening in my life. Like, I knew that, this highway, that's like, I will not get to the end of this highway. At some point I'll have to leave the highway. But I kept postponing it, like, I'll change lanes later, I'll change later. So I looked at now the death of my mom. Like, I'm on this lane and I see ahead an accident has happened on that lane I'm on. So at that point, I have no other choice but to change lanes. So I had the choice of whether should I change and go to the correct lane that will allow me to leave the highway, or should I just change to another lane and keep postponing. Or should I go to where the accident is, I stop, I wait till, the accident, they've cleared up the road, and then I continue on the lane. So I'd say now, like, the death of my mom, I'd say the one thing or the beauty that came out of it was pushing me into what I felt like my purpose in life was. So it kind of pushed me to go ahead and just do it and be like, I feel like this is what I should be doing, and I might not even get a later to do those things. And now is the time. So that's the only thing I'd say that helped me have a reason to continue living. I was like, okay, let me do at least the one thing that I know I enjoy doing. Because I guess if I was not doing that, I'd still be depressed up to now. I would still not want to wake up. And I don't know how deep that would have gone or dark it would have become. But I'm glad that I decided, what, let me do what I love. Let me do what I feel is like my purpose in life. and that has given me like a reason to, get up in the morning and show up. Yeah, I felt like I don't have the energy to pretend. I don't have the energy to live a, any other life than what I feel I should be living, because yeah, you only have one life and you don't know how long you have.
It's gonna take.
Exactly. So for me, it really forced me to think about like my life and the meaning of life and why I'm here, and why I keep waking up and the purpose of my life. It forced me to think about those things which I was probably not so keen on before.
Because that was my next question, like how has the death of your mom made you, what's one positive thing that you've taken out of it and you say that it's made you to like live your purpose, get out there?
Yes. Yeah. And the other one was I became more self-aware. I was more in tune with like my feelings, like sadness, joy, anger, dissatisfaction, disappointment. Like I was able to understand or be more self-aware of like myself and how I feel. Because it gets like, for me, it got to a point I could no longer like pretend I'm okay or hide or like keep it going. Like there was no room for that. I needed to be aware. How am I feeling?
How are you feeling?
Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? And get to the root of it and work on it. The other one I would say is that now I started regularly going to like therapy. So that was at the beginning, of course, it was compulsory. It was not compulsory, but it was highly recommended. So I took it and I decided to continue on with it. I would say like I would want to continue even after like things pick up. I would not want to stop going for therapy.
How are you finding it?
Like I said, that aspect of self-awareness, a lot of it used to happen when I'm in this session. Like I'm just talking to someone, and then as I talk and as I'm talking to now the therapist or the psychologist, as I'm talking to her, I think things start to now make sense. I'm like, oh, now I understand why I feel this way. Oh, now I understand why I'm behaving like this. Oh, now I understand why I tend to do things this way. Like it gave me an understanding of myself, my behaviors. I became more self-aware.
Wow, I would want that. I cannot wait to find one. Hopefully, because our church is doing that this week. They have a counseling week, and I'm purposing to just pop in one day and be able to find one that I can talk to, and also just become more self-aware. So do you think that people in your circles, your friends, were able to help you during that time? Or how would you have wanted people to help you?
During that time, how would I have wanted people? Wow, I don't know. I guess probably I would say just being present is okay. You don't always have to, have says a lot of stuff, but just being there, the person seeing you, like being there physically, does do a lot. Like you just being there. And also for me, it would sometimes like I used to really get help or encouraged when I'm not alone. I don't feel like I'm alone. Because when you're alone, there's a lot of, especially if you're isolated, there's a lot of thoughts and emotions that can cause you to become depressed or more depressed or even suicidal. So having just someone checking up on you or just being there in your space kind of helps you. It does.
The thing about being present, like even if you say nothing, just knowing that this person has come to be with me or to console with me during this time makes a lot of difference, because at that time people do not know what to say, and you might say something that might end up doing more damage than doing good. like it is well. At that time, it's not well. Don't tell someone who's lost someone that it is well. It might be well, you might be meaning it in a good way, but for them in the present time, things are not okay. Yes? Yeah, so what else? What else have we not talked about? Oh, what are some of the things that you remember about your mom that makes you smile?
I'd say probably some of the things that she maybe showed me how to do. She definitely used to like jokes. So, and she was so serious about her love for humor. She actually had a book of jokes. Like she bought a book of jokes. So that, remembering that used to does make me smile. Also some of the things now, like also like things like dancing. She definitely used to like to dance. She did show me a few moves here and there. So I guess I also probably that's why I enjoy dancing a lot. Yeah. So those are some of the things, mostly the things that she showed me to do. Whenever I do those things, I do remember and I smile. I'm like, wow. Because the most recent one I was remembering was when I was washing my face, and then I remembered like on my birthday she used to buy me like this cassette of like skincare products with like a face scrub and some salts and all, and like a whole set of skincare products. And then I remember we used to steam our faces
together.
I was like, wow, she's actually the one who started me off with like skincare, taking care of my skin. And I was like, wow. Right now I'm really doing the least. I'm doing the least. I'm barely doing anything compared to
what she
showed me. I was remembering some of those things that formed like I was really young when now she started off started me off on those kind of like routines, skincare routines. But I'm like, wow, okay, that was I did remember that. I'm like, right now I'm doing the least. She's probably like, not even try.
And you're like inspired to do more.
I am inspired to do more.
Now for me, I just remembered when you were talking, there's this dish that my mom loved, chana dal, the yellow split something. I don't know what the name is, but it's usually written chana dal. I think 3 years ago, that's when like I found it in the supermarket. Like, you know those things you just believe. I don't know where my mom used to get this, but I found it. I was like, first of all, I was surprised that they sell this, and every time when I buy cereals, I buy it, and when I cook it, I just remember that my mom loved this dish. The other thing my mom loved doing is doing our hair. Let me tell you, my mom did our hair. We never used to go to the salon. When she died and when I received the news, I think as a child, that is the one question I asked myself. Like, now nani atakuwa kisonga nywele zetu, who will be doing our hair? Because I could not imagine that you can go to a salon and someone does your hair. And I think I don't know if that is why I love taking care of my hair, because I don't know how to do it. My sister caught it. My sister can be able to play it. That's what my mom used to do. But for me, I cannot play it, but I can be able to take care of my hair. I loved that. The other thing I remember is the responses from African mothers. They're like, you're looking for a broom, like, okay mom, kifage iko wapi? And she'll tell you, iko kwa kichwa yangu. And then Aki will be annoyed, and it's just that because you're lazy to look, you're like, I wish I didn't ask. But so now I do them with my niece. Kwa hii nyumba. Like, you just make those African moms responses. Yeah, and when I think about that, I smile. Yeah. I miss her every day. No, not every day. Let me not. Because sometimes I don't even think about her. But there are times when I go home, Ushago, and people are like, oh, you look like your mom. Yeah, wish she was here. What memories would you want to create with your children maybe in the future so that
For
have you
me,
thought about it?
yeah, I have. I would want to name like my daughters after my mom and my aunt. Yeah, I would want to, because I really loved their names. So I'm really looking forward to name my daughters after my mom and my aunt.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I just want to be as hardworking as she was. Hey, my mom was hardworking. Really hardworking. She used to knit those vitambas and she would do a good job. I've not thought about naming my children after her, but I just want to know that I'm just proud that I came from her, if that makes sense. And then I feel like she went through a lot, but you could not be able to, she didn't parade that. She was not one to say, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, or maybe I'm going through this. It's after she's gone and then you're like, whoa, you mean you were going through this and you still kept it? So I'd want to be like her. Yes, she was such an amazing woman. Like, do you ever think like, if she were here, how different your life would be?
Wow, have I ever thought of that? How different my life would be. Yeah, I think it would be pretty different. I'll probably not even be doing what I'm doing right now. Yeah, because I feel like her now dying caused me to pivot and just like turn my whole life around and go another direction. So I feel like probably I would yeah, my life would be very different if she was,
still alive.
Yeah.
Me, I would just want someone who could nest. I can't imagine now. Gosh, I've done this, I've finished this. Like, what's the next thing? Like, any achievement to me, like any kidogo, you're like calling her. Wow. Like, if you guys have your parents or your moms with you, because we're just talking about moms, if you have your moms with you, cherish them, love them, just create those memories with them. And squeeze in a hug. Tell them you love them, continue making memories with them. It's very, 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 very important. And the other thing that has also helped me, of course, just move on is just knowing that I'm hopeful that one day I'll meet her. Very hopeful that I will meet her. And I can't wait to see her. And I just ask her, surely, did you have to leave? Like, that was so soon. That was so soon. Like, you didn't have to, but we've made it. We've survived. Yes, see you on the other side of life.
Yeah.
And there'll be no more deaths.
I know. I also really look forward to that, because I know our relationship will be bomb. Like, here on this side, everything is like polluted or convoluted by the fallen state of man. So there it will be perfect. They will have their perfect relationship. So I always look forward to that aspect. And I think another thing is that she did introduce me to the faith. I'd say that, because I remember a lot of the preachings and the sermons I had when I was really young. It was my mom listening, and you had no other choice but to listen. Of course, at that time you were like, oh my gosh, like, why are we listening to a preaching right now? But it's really indirectly me taking in the word has formed a lot of now the kind of woman of faith I have become right now, by being fed the word from a very young age. And being exposed to preachers and teachers of the word from a very young age. I think it did save me a lot.
Wow.
It did save me a lot. I didn't have to go and test so much of what the world has to offer. That is also like a very big thing.
I've remembered something. I think now when you're talking about faith and all, also I think my mom did the same. We used to sing a lot. Like, we had hymn books in the house, and it will be either in the evening, and then we'll sit around and just sing, and my mom would just start singing even when we were not seated around. Like, she would just sing. And my mom introduced me to hymns. And I think why I love singing is because of what my mom, like introduced us to, and hymns mostly, because we would sit around and just open the hymn book and then we'll just start singing. Yeah, I wish I could remember how she was. Like I could remember her voice. I can't remember her voice. It's been 20 plus years. I think 21 years. Yeah, so when you're talking about introducing you to faith, some of the songs I remember that are very worded, it's because I had my mom singing. And I think that is so special to me. And even like growing up into adulthood, and now that I sing in the worship team, it's not something that I knew I could. I just was that backbencher type of singer. You know, the one you just enjoy. The way you see, you love dancing, but you're not a dancer.
Yeah.
That is me. Like I just love singing. I credit my mom for that. Same for you as for your faith.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else?
Is there something else? I felt like they had something, but like I can't remember what it was. But I felt like there was something. But oh well, it was not meant to be said in this video. If I've forgotten it.
Yeah. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. It was nice. Even if you've tracked along and you've joined us in this, I don't know what this is, but just reliving the moments that we had with, do we call them our former parents? No.
That's still
Yes.
They don't live on Earth.
They don't live on Earth. They flew. They live in another beautiful place. So, yeah, thank you so much for being with us and just hanging out with us as we recollected memories of our moms. And yeah, I hope that they are proud of us. Do you believe that your mom is watching you?
I believe. Oh my gosh. Sometimes yes, sometimes no. Like I'm not sure if she is or she's not. I always wonder, is she watching? Is she not? I've never concluded. I was
like, she's like, McKenna, go, and then when you're about to make her, no, McKenna, no.
I don't know. Like I don't know if she's watching. So I do ask myself that a lot. Can she see or can she not see? But if she can't see, I know she's proud. Yeah.
Same. Very proud of me. I think she's like, wow, I didn't know that, Karen, you have such potential. Like I didn't know you can stretch yourself that much. Because for me nilikuwa ule, I cannot. But anyway, thank you guys. We're not gonna end this video, but thank you so much guys for watching. Bye.